B2B Cambodia, the portal for business use in Cambodia.
Hello and welcome to an episode of B2B Cambodia's Industry Update. I'm Darshana Gauchin. This episode focuses on the garment, footwear, and travel goods sector, and I'll be speaking with Mr. Ken Loo, the Secretary General of the Textile, Apparel, Footwear, and Travel Goods Association in Cambodia, otherwise known as TAFTAC. Hello, Mr. Ken Loo. Thank you so much for speaking with us today. It's great to have you here to guide us through our deep dive into Cambodia's garment, footwear, and travel goods sector.
Sure, you're most welcome.
Could you begin by explaining what TAFTAC is and also what your role is at the association?
So TAFTAC is the acronym for the Textile, Apparel, Footwear, and Travel Goods Association in Cambodia. And we represent all the exporters in the garment sector, as well as most of the exporters in the traveling goods sector or bags sector. Currently, our membership stands at about 740, and we represent approximately 680,000 workers who are currently employed in the sector. So my role as the Secretary General of the association, certainly I run the association, and the main objective of the association is to advocate for our members, to advocate for the industry and the sector per se. So our main counterparts involve the government and other stakeholders such as trade unions, international financial institutions, development partners, NGOs who have an interest in our sector.
And can you also explain why TAFTAC went through a name change, previously called GMAC?
Sure.
Why did you change the name to TAFTAC?
Sure. So previously, the association was known as GMAC or GMAC, the Garment Manufacturers Association in Cambodia. As our name currently suggests, we have expanded our scope, and we now include textile, apparel, footwear, and traveling goods, because GMAC was formed in 1996. And at that time, there were only garment manufacturers in Cambodia. So naturally, we called ourselves the Garment Manufacturers Association. But as time evolved, we had more investors in other sectors. Namely, we had some investors in textiles, so the upstream, very, very few, but we do have a couple. And certainly, post-2016, we saw a huge expansion of traveling goods factories that came to set up shop in Cambodia, and they joined us as members. We also have several footwear factories that are members of the association. So in order to better reflect the makeup of our members, we decided it was time to rename, and we did that in 2022.
If you had to take a step back and do a broad assessment of the current state of the garment, footwear, and travel goods sector, how would you assess it right now?
2023 was a difficult year globally for the whole sector. 2024, we are seeing some signs of recovery. If you compare the export levels today, we are higher than pre-COVID. Right? We're higher than 2019 already. So that is I suppose it's a good sign. We need this trend to continue, because if we look back at 2023, the first half of 2023 looked very good. We thought we were out of COVID. We thought things was on the rebound. And then come 1st July, we fell off a cliff. So hopefully 2024 is different. For now, it looks different, as in it looks like the trend will continue into the second half of the year, the positive trend, and hopefully into 2025 and 2026. But we really don't know for sure. But we're cautious, always, in all interviews, I say we are cautiously optimistic. And we need it to be so, because 2023 was a very, very bad year for the investors globally.
What would you say are some of the biggest challenges involved in both promoting and safeguarding the rights and interests of your members?
So we face many challenges, certainly, right? There's constant pressure to raise wages. There is constant pressure to provide better benefits for the workers. But at the same time, we're not being paid more by the buyers. Times are bad, buyers are squeezing us, But at the same time, we know that wages only goes in one direction, and that's up. It never goes down. Even during COVID years, I think Cambodia was, if we're not the only one, then we must be one of the very, very few that raised the minimum wage during COVID. So in the years of 2021 and 2022, where for the most part, I think the rest of the world froze wages, we still raised the minimum wage by a little, or $2 a year, but we raised minimum wage. I think globally there is a push for better purchasing practices by buyers, for them to behave or act more responsibility or more responsibly towards not only us, their suppliers, but also downstream for the workers. Right? There's a push by consumers to be more sustainable, to go green, and certainly this is also one of the focus and areas that we are paying attention to.
And in terms of government support, have there been any new policies that have been introduced that you think will help the sector to grow more?
I mean, the government has always been supportive of our sector. We account for more than 50% of Cambodia's total exports and foreign income, right? We are certainly also the largest formal sector, employing more than 850,000 workers now. And fortunately for us, the government has always paid high attention to our sector. Now, there have been many government policies that have helped us, right? Including the launch of the garment sector strategy in 2022-2027. And on top of this, the new investment law also, I think, will attract more investors to Cambodia. The new investment law also has a focus on green and more sustainability investments. We have a working group on trade facilitation and export processing, and this is co-chaired by the Minister of Commerce. The association used to co-chair this working group as well, but now we are vice chair. The co-chair is now Oknya Kutpeng, who is a representative of the Cambodia Chamber of Commerce. We also are a member of many other working groups, including law, customs, industry, etc. And there are many platforms that the association and certainly our members can raise issues for the government to resolve. And certainly I think these platforms have been useful and have been effective. Like I said, the government has been extremely responsive to the needs of our sector, and the association has access to many levels within the government, up to the minister and even up to the prime minister level. I think this is very rare in other countries, but certainly exists in Cambodia.